and welcome to another video from Colour with Claire. Today we're going to be looking at Tombow skin tones. Now those two words filled me with dread when I first thought about doing this video because we all know that Tombow pens are water-based and water-based pens do not blend very well at all, and they can come out very streaky. They can pull up the tooth of the paper and leave you with an incredible mess. So with Tombow bringing out this 12 set of portraiture colours, I thought there has to be a way that we can use these to create a nice, maybe not seamless blend, but a nice skin tone anyway. And I did a bit of trial and error with them. I definitely made a lot of mistakes, but I think I've learnt kind of the best way to use them. Now, you're not going to be able to get a seamless skin tone over a large area with these pens. It's just not going to happen. They're not made for blending together, they're not made for large areas, and they still do streak no matter what you do really. But if you're colouring a page that has a few different characters on with a smaller area of skin to colour, these are just perfect. So those large scale faces that you get in colouring books that take up the entire page, not suitable for this. But if you have something like this, which is the Colouring Heaven anime special that features quite small characters on a page and it's not kind of filled with a face, these will do absolutely fine. Now the colours that are included in this 12 set are 800, 850, 873, 772, 020 and so on. They all have numbers, none of them have names, but you can see here that I've swatched them out. We have a very, very light pink, a slightly deeper peachier pink, a very vibrant peach, a dusky pink, we've got a yellow, a couple of tan kind of beigey colours, a deeper toned orange than this peach here, so those two will probably go quite well together, and then a couple of browns, light brown, dark brown, and a black. And of course you get the blender. Now a lot of people don't really know what to do with the blender. It seems like one of those extraneous things that you just get with your pack and you've tried to blend with it but it doesn't make any difference at all. Now there's a technique that I discovered very, very early on in colouring, and it was one of the first videos in fact on this channel, and that was the Tombow touch tip blending technique. And much like chameleon pens or any other pens that you touch together to fuse the colours, this works perfectly fine with Tombows. It works really well in fact. So what I'm going to do is just demonstrate that quite quickly, and as I say, it isn't going to be perfect, but I think it looks okay. Let me know what you think in the comments anyway. So first of all, I'm going to go with the 772, the 850 and the 800. So that's these here. Not that one. The 800, the 850 and this dusky pink, the 772. So these first two and this one here. So I'm going to get the lightest colour, which is the 800 first. Let's just uncap all of these pens. The good thing about the Tombows is that you can just pop the caps on the other end so you don't get them mixed up, which I've done many times in the past. And what we're going to do is we are going to take the lightest colour, which is our 800. We're going to put this on the bottom so you can see I'm facing it up towards the camera, so it's in a vertical position. We're then going to take the next darkest, which is the 850, and we're just simply going to touch these tips together for a moment. It is important that your next darkest colour is on top of the lightest colour so that the colour goes down. It can't fuse upwards, it can only fuse downwards. So we've put a bit of that on there. We're then going to go to the next darkest colour, the 772, and add a bit of that onto the tip as well. So just holding them together, and you should be able to see the very end of that tip is stained with the 772. We're then going to start by doing half of the face here. So once we touch it to the paper, we have the 772 first. It's then fusing down into the next colour, and finally the last colour, which is the 800. So you can see there that I've gone straight across the face. Obviously it depends where you want your highlights to be. I've chosen this side of the face to be dark. We've probably got the light source coming in from this side, I'm saying, so this side of the face is lighter. And then if you wanted to, you could then use the colourless blender just to do a quick sketch over it like that, and once it's dry it won't be streaky anymore, it'll be much less streaky anyway. So that is the Tombow touch tip blending technique. Now you can then go in with, say, the middle colour and fill in any little spaces that you might have missed around the hairline, bringing in the darker colour. It's totally up to you how you want to do it, but you can also use the other end of the pen, which is the very, very fine tip, to put in some details. So maybe you want to make that nose a little bit darker, or just define the chin a little bit more. It's totally up to you what you want to do. Obviously you need that to dry for a second so the streaks kind of melt away a little bit, but that is one technique. Now the other technique is leaving highlights on whilst you're doing the Tombow touch tip technique, and that is by using this blender. So we do much the same thing, but I'm going to use some different colours this time so that we can see how different colours play as well. Now I'm looking at a more beigey skin tone for this, so 990, 942 and maybe 977. We'll give that a go. So we have the 977, we need the 990 and the 942. So 990, it's difficult sometimes because they're quite close together in the caps. So we have the 990, the 942 and the 977. So beigey going into brown as our darkest colour. Now clearly our blender is the lightest we're going to get. It's completely transparent and see-through. So we need to then go in this order. We can't go in this order, it's not going to work. So first colour that we're going to use this technique in is the 990. We're going to sit it against that tip for a second. There you can see the tip is now stained with colour. Next up we have the 942. Just going to pop that on there for a few seconds. Literally not very long at all because we are colouring a very small expanse. And then I've just put that 977 on there. Now clearly we're going to have the last colour that we put on come out first, which is the darker colour. So I'm going to start that on this side. So here we go. Darker colour is now moving into the lightest colour, and eventually as we get toward the end of the face it will be completely white, completely see-through. Again, you can go in with your medium colour and fill in any bits that you've missed. Just like this. You can put a few shadows in if you want to, maybe around the nose, around the jawline like before. And again, making sure that your blender is clean. These don't stain, by the way. They might stain, but they don't stay. So you can see this is nice and clear again now. And just go over, just give it a little touch of blender. Wait for that to dry. While waiting for it to dry, let's do a bit of hair. Let's add a few features in so that the skin doesn't look so weird against this white paper. Let's maybe bring in some blue for the hair because anime characters are very colourful. Now I'm using Tombows again, not from the skin set obviously, and I'm using the smaller tipped end to bring in a few flicks of hair. And as I always say when I'm colouring people, flicking motions and streaks on hair are absolutely perfect. You don't have to worry about streaks whatsoever on hair because it just gives it more of a realistic look. There's also this bit of fringe that's coming down here that I missed. I'm going to bring in a bit of a darker blue and just give it a slight shade so that it looks like it's been dip dyed or it's just shining and you can see the different blues. Anime is absolutely perfect as a style to use with these pens because even if your skin tone does end up looking a little bit blocky, that's fine because anime characters do look like that anyway. They're kind of coloured, very blockified, so that they're actually perfect to use with these pens. For this hair, let's go with pink. So I'm going to get a nice light pink and maybe a deeper one and do exactly the same thing. It's just while waiting for this to dry so you can see the end result, because it does look incredibly streaky at first and then it seems to dry nice and smooth. But as I say, these aren't going to work on huge expanses of area, so any kind of big characters that you've got that fill the whole page, I wouldn't recommend these. But for these smaller illustrations, and if you're kind of interested in colouring cartoonish type artwork, ideal, especially the Tombow pens, because they do have incredibly bright colours in their sets. So I'm just going to use the lighter pink brush tip just to bring in that highlight a little bit. Nice and flexible. I adore the Tombow brush tips. There we go. So we've left a nice white highlight, very in keeping with the anime style. And by now you can see that this skin has started to dry, and it looks a lot less streaky and dark than it did when it was originally put down, when it was wet. Let's just give them a nice eye colour just to finish off. So this one's got purple eyes, because why not? And this one I'm going to give her a nice turquoise green eye to go with her blue hair. Let's do a little bit of lip just to differentiate this here. And finish off with a nice white highlight on each eye. I could go on and colour all of these, to be honest, but I'm trying to stop myself for the purposes of this tutorial, this look into the Tombow Skintone. So there you go, we have done Skintone with Tombow. Who'd have thought it? I never would have, because I was always so scared of doing Skintone with Tombows. I mean, for instance, if we just take this piece of card and take the last three colours that we used, so the 990, which is hiding from me. There we go. So the 990, the 942 and the 977. So if we'd have put these on without the touch tip method, we'd have got a bit of dark for the shadows, then the next colour like this, over the top overlapping, and then the next colour like this, overlapping, and you can just see the difference. These do not have any play in them whatsoever, so going from something that's fairly seamless to very streaky and individual colours just put together side by side, it's a very, very good technique to use. And I hope that I've taught you a little bit of something maybe you didn't know today. So if you have any water-based pens, you can touch them together and see if it works. But I find that these Tombow pens do work brilliantly for that technique in particular, because of their luscious brush tip that seems to soak in and fuse all the colours together. So there you go, that's how I do skin tones with Tombow markers. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.